Hey, it's Dominic D'Angelo. It's Rumor and Innuendo. It's ad-free shows. It's Robert Karpelis, WE Creative _ish. Controversy creates cash, Robert, but does Rumor and Innuendo create revenue? What do you think?
God, I hope so. And that brings us to our friends at Blue Chew. No, too early. It's too early for that. And that's something else I'm sure Blue Chew can help with. But what a show we've got for you today. We are going to be talking the Dynamite.
The Dynamite.
We're going to be talking the former president of the United States.
The president.
And why are you're like echoing it like it's on like Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego? Like the warrant, the loot, the criminal.
Yes.
Little rockapella for your Wednesday. A little shout out to Stuart Green. Looking forward to my daily R&I fix. Hope everyone is doing well. And Antonio Santos, happy Thursday, fellows. Who wants the secret ingredient to the Flaming Mo? Yes, I was binge watching Simpsons last night instead of Dynamite. And in case you're wondering, it's children's cough syrup.
Oh, hey, I think the Simpsons and the Flaming Mo had higher stakes than what we saw on AEW Dynamite last night. But let's get your thoughts, Robert. Let's get all our thoughts. We got plenty to cover. It did start off, I will say, and capped pretty well. The Swerve promo. We talked about this, how he needs to get more involved with main event storylines, what's going on. Here we have it with the Elite coming out and him kind of drawing a line in the sand when it comes to the Young Bucks. They tried enlisting him for blood and guts. He declined, threw the shoes into the crowd, and there we go. Robert, what did you think of this opening segment here?
So I have not been hacked. I just want to clarify that.
Okay.
I enjoyed Dynamite last night.
Wow.
I thought structurally,
okay,
this was a cohesive 2-hour television broadcast. The problems are still very much there. There were elements that we will pick apart and what have you, but opening with your world champion, making him the central focus, letting him cut a promo where he's talking about Ospreay. He's building up Ospreay's resume, how Ospreay was an assassin until his last match. And we know that hesitation is because of what happened in the Bryan Danielson match, which means, Dom, clutch your pearls, like what Matt Jackson was wearing. Things that happened on pay-per-view mattered. Wild concept. Then the Elite come out, and I like that, Swerve had been calling them out, and then they show up.
Yes.
I enjoy that. The fact that they came out there, though, to announce blood and guts is where my brain did the little, like, what's going on? Like Lewis Black, like, what's going on here? Blood and guts in AEW world is an end game to a major storyline. That is the culmination of the inner circle and the pinnacle. We have no further we can go. It's the culmination of Blackpool Combat Club going to war in that match. So to just announce a blood and guts match without an underlying storyline is very WCW. As we've been watching the Who Killed WCW, we're just going to throw a stipulation out here and hope that we can eventually get to a compelling story for it. It's also strange because the justification with the Elite was that they are cowards, that they duck fights, that they duck matches. So to pick Anarchy in the Arena, which is a wild, insane brawl that they won, and now they're picking another really brutal, really hardcore, their answer to War Game style match. Why are these guys cowardly heels?
Yeah. And it's to what you're saying too. Usually when you have blood and guts, you have tension, a lot of animosity and building to it. There's a reason for it. Here, it just seems like it's a thing on the calendar that we have to get out of the way, and hey, let's not forget about blood and guts. We're entering it. For what reason? There's nothing behind it. Yeah, I think I do agree with you on that. And yeah, it's I did like the contrast, the juxtaposition between Swerve and the Elite. I liked they kind of indirectly teased Okada and Swerve by Okada leading off with everything like that. And that was kind of fun. These were my two favorite moments, the two end caps. And I'm not talking about the main event itself. I'm talking about what Swerve was involved in, were my two favorite aspects, I think, of the show.
Sure.
Otherwise, I had a lot of criticism, I think, when it came to the rest of Dynamite. But let's get on where we progressed on. We had Jungle Boy taking on Dustin Rhodes. Pretty definitive on what we predicted there. Everything was basically what we assumed was going to happen. And when it came,
it was, and we've said many times, when something is predictable, that does not necessarily make it a bad thing. Sometimes you want the next logical step in a story. That's how it makes sense. You want Luke Skywalker to blow up the Death Star.
Mm-hmm.
In this instance, they thrust the match onto Jack Perry's like, you're fighting right now. So he's fighting in street clothes to give him a little bit of a disadvantage. Dustin has this new thing where he thinks he's Moxley and has to bleed in every match. But it was a very good physical match. It didn't look strange that Dustin was beating up a child.
No. And
the minor criticism when the turnbuckle was pulled off, and this is referee world, we can get, Jimmy Corderas or Jason Ayers on here to confirm. If the turnbuckle has been pulled off, you have to reattach that turnbuckle as a referee, as an official. Aubrey Edwards just flung it to the side. That is an exposed piece of steel, and we need to worry about the health and safety of these combatants. They should have put a new cover on there, and they had plenty of time to do so.
Right.
That's the strangest part.
There was a lot of time.
She also needs to get better at not looking at things she's not supposed to be looking at. So when there was the low blow that she's staring at, and the announcers are like, "Oh, the referee wasn't looking," I'm like, "Is there a second ref?" I'm pretty sure the referee that was in the ring was looking at the exact spot that happened. But yeah, we're going to get Jack Perry moving forward. We knew we would. The match was fine with Dustin. The Roosh and Dion Rooshman.
Oh, nice job.
Make up a different name for a guy. No, but also Tony Schiavone needs a history lesson. He's like, this guy's called the Iceberg. Well, Roosh is the Titanic.
Yeah, who won that battle?
I was just gonna say, let's roll back the tape on that. I don't think the Titanic did great against it. Good strong squash. Now we're building Roosh up, which was cool. But MJF comes out.
Yep.
And I thought for sure when you were going to have the Roosh match, you would have had MJF on commentary. Because I don't know if you're aware of this. He's a moderately entertaining speaker.
Is he pretty good on the microphone?
Slightly.
Okay.
And rather than letting him go out there and talk, he comes running out there like generic babyface. And they have a lot of generic babyface.
Yeah.
That's not MJF.
What? Yeah. Why would he be helping that jobber out?
Whoa. We don't use that sort of slanderous term here.
We're not under WWE landscape. I say let's use it.
He is an enhancement talent. He is an up-and-comer, bright young man with a big future. Dion Roachman.
Dion Jobber?
Yeah, there you go, Dion Jobber. But it just immediately turned into this brawl when I don't remember these guys having this truly deeply personal issue. No. It's another one where it's like you skipped a step.
Yes.
It's like the underpants gnomes. We're going to steal the underwear. Step 2. Step 3, profit. We needed that step 2. We needed that reason why Max wanted to tear Roosh's head off. Because, why would he care if Roosh beats up some, random jabroni?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I'm compelled, but I think they're going to have a good match. But I would love to see that kind of build a little bit more, just like a lot of stuff with AEW. But what else we've been building to is Chris Jericho's TV time. Oh, my gosh.
Come on. I'm trying to be positive. Try to be nice.
I want to get you. I think this was your favorite aspect of the show. Maybe I'm wrong, Robert. Tell me. What do you think? What did you think of this segment?
I hate you so much. Here's the thing. We said it before.
Yeah.
This was going to set up Private Party. Private Party beats up Jericho and Big Bill and your favorite wrestler of all time, Brian Keith.
Yeah.
The highlight of this entire segment, by far, maybe highlight of the week, maybe highlight of the year. Brian Keith gets knocked to the outside.
Mm-hmm.
He's dazed. He's down for the count. Private Party's about to attack Big Bill. Brian Keith realizes his hat's still in the ring, and he doesn't want it to get trampled. So in the middle of his daze, he reaches in, grabs the hat, doesn't warn Big Bill, and then goes back to where he's supposed to be. Oh, man. That must be one expensive hat.
Right.
And I'm confident that this angle is going to launch Private Party to be the next great tag team with 16, 17, 18 tag title reigns going forward because of this.
So you think they're the next Dudley Boys?
Oh, I think they're going to surpass the Dudley Boys. I think they're going to surpass the Hardys. I think they're going to be an all-time great because they were in this one segment.
Yes.
See, guys, that's the entirety of the TV time gimmick, or the learning tree nonsense. It's a lot of TV time for these guys, and you're mocking legitimate criticism of your show in a way that's not entertaining.
And, are you really putting Private Party in the right light by
No.
saying that they lose all the time? Like, Jericho said that in the promo.
Like, the idea of, I'm going to train you properly because you guys don't know what you're doing in there. We're winking at Punk. I get it. But there's a lot of guys you have on your roster who don't know how to truly work properly and could benefit from a little help, as somebody to walk them through what they need to do. And then Jericho bringing up that he was trained by Stu Hart. Like, if this was adjusted and calibrated properly, this could all work. It's just not working. I think the only moment of this that popped the announcers was when he brought out the shirt and he was like, this is the fastest selling shirt. And then we're like, of course it's the fastest selling. It just came out.
Yeah.
And it was like, they're entertaining themselves, which is something Taz always does when he's just done with a segment.
Dude, and Taz's quality too, even in that kind of stuff. Like, he keeps me entertained. Like, even during these kind of rough segments and stuff like that. But yes, I do think the only thing, he kind of lightened up on the high guys a little bit more, but then he has that freaking t-shirt. So I don't know.
Yeah. It's an inconsistently goofy character that is neither fish nor fowl and is not going to get anybody over. And if anything, it's made your favorite wrestler of all time, Brian Keith, a comedy act, when they had been building him up as this sort of low-key gun for hire, but he can get it done in the ring. And now he's the goofy extra.
Yeah. Gets to show him a little personality, but yeah, it kind of takes away from his whole like persona. It's a little weird. What I did like, though, Robert, I will say this. I like the dynamic of Samoa Joe and Hook together.
Yeah.
That was fun. And I think that really... Now, they're talking about the next big trio with Shibata. Nothing against Shibata. I like Shibata. I like him as, like, the personality he's kind of showing and, like, talking through text, all that kind of thing. But I want to see a tandem more than a trio. I think it means more when you have Joe and Hook together rather than hey, we got another trio here. Maybe they're going to go for the trio's titles. I don't give a shit about the trio titles, pardon my French. But I want to see I want to see them as a tag team. I think they could kind of move forward with that and give them something to do a little bit more. But I like the dynamic between Joe and Hook. What do you think?
I think he just needs something for Shibata to do. He's talented. They just don't really have a place for him. So they're finding a way to plug him in on television. It'd be great if they had another trio floating around there that you could potentially adjust. But yeah, Joe and Hook together seems to work. We've seen a number of mentors for Hook, but Joe and Hook, it's gelling. It's working. It's entertaining. I love the way that they just jump Tony Nese and Daivari before the match. They eat him up. It was a fun match. It's kind of what you want for a mid-card storyline. So that's why I was like, boy, this is gelling. We're not quite at like head cheese level of brilliance yet with Steve Blackman and Al Snow, but it's good. I like it. Something else I will praise the fine folks at All Elite Wrestling for is they are listening. The video packages that they put together on this show were top notch. The Stephanie Vacure
Yes.
I don't think that's even how you say it, but I like that it's
Pretty
it's
close.
like when he's called, QT Marshall. It's like Stephanie Vacuur. I know who she is.
Mhm.
I know what she has accomplished. I know what her goal is against Mercedes Moné. Love it. Think that's absolutely tremendous. The Moxley video package, he wasn't on the show, but hey, we got a little taste of what he's doing as the IWGP champion.
Mhm.
It's a reminder we're going to Forbidden Door. Here's where we're going to get with this. I enjoyed that. The Mina Shirakawa video package with Mariah May. Guys, this is second to none. You're telling me who she is. You're infusing it with graphics. You're making that a character. You're making both of these women feel like characters. I'm now further invested in the story. Brilliant. Love it. Home run, grand slam, whoever produced those, guessing, Mike Mansouri and his team just knocked it out of the park. Tremendous. Is it weird that Nick Camarado was literally just the ghost of Bruno Sammartino?
Yeah. That's something I really didn't like. Is like you had this guy that we've been familiar with years ago with the what was QT Marshall's faction called? The Factory? Was that what
The
it's just
Factory. That was the Factory.
Okay, it was just Factory. So we had an associate. He's a big dude. He's a menacing dude. You job him out like that, it just doesn't. It's a head scratcher. I understand. And plus, you had squash matches already on here, several of them, and that's kind of what the overtone of this show for me, from a match perspective, was, and that kind of got me disengaged from it. And when it came to a lot of what do we got to look forward to next week? We have MJF and Roosh. What else?
By the way, they're giving you MJF and Roosh commercial free next week. I thought this was at Forbidden Door.
Nope.
Forbidden Door, which is in Long Island.
Yeah.
Why on earth are you? What are you guys?
What's he going to? Like, yeah, that's gonna be. He's got to have a match at Forbidden Door. Like,
listen, I'm going to talk directly to Tony Marie Khan.
Okay, is that his middle name?
Yeah, sure. Listen here, Tony Marie.
Yeah.
Watch on Vice Who Killed WCW. Watch where they talk about giving away pay-per-view matches on free TV and how that paid off for them. Just don't. You could very easily book a segment next week, an MJF Roosh showdown, another promo, give Max his a return match on his first match on Dynamite, and he beats whoever, somebody from CMLL or something, and then Nick Camarado, and then you get the match on pay-per-view. Instead, you're going to do this match on TV where one of two things are going to happen, Mr. D'Angelo.
Mm-hmm.
Either we're going to get a non-finish and we're going to get a rematch of the pay-per-view, which means I just saw Roosh versus MJF, or MJF's going to beat Roosh and we're going to get a Tony Khan special where he rushes another match for Max at Forbidden Door. Guys, I'm begging.
Would you be more intrigued, though, if it was like a surprise name, like a good surprise name that everybody's familiar with?
If one of those existed, sure, but one does not exist.
I'm just thinking off the top of my head.
Shelton Benjamin, the New Japan star?
Yes.
If you're doing Forbidden Door, it has to be somebody from another promotion that matters. There's not a lot of names that really jump off the page as feeling fresh and new and different. I want to point out a comment here from Cam, and I was talking about the video packages. She said, Robert, heaping out the praise for AEW doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Baby steps, Ken. We got to, if they're doing the right thing, we got to give them a little credit.
That's the whole point of it. It's like, do the smart thing, do the right thing, and it becomes a fairly engaging television program. The 6-man tag, which we knew was just going to kind of be there. My biggest takeaway is Mark Briscoe is so damn entertaining as a promo.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want to watch that guy. He's captivating. He's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike Kyle O'Reilly, who is so uncomfortable to watch.
He's like trying to fit in. It feels like the guy that's, hey, don't forget about me.
He did this cool Kyle thing in NXT, and it was awkward and terrible. He's just awkward and terrible, and you don't want to. It's like he's like an office character. And
that's
so
what Jim Halpert. That's what they should make him.
He's not Jim. No,
he's not Jim. I know that.
Jim has charisma.
Toby? Is he
what?
Toby?
No,
Toby?
at least Toby is a good kind of creepy. Like there's heel heat there. Um, he's just oh gosh, no.
Look, I do like O'Reilly. He's got to find a groove. I don't know. He just got to find a groove.
Main event was
Mhm.
Ray Phoenix and Will Ospreay.
Yes.
We said yesterday, hey, you're hot shotting and giving away a huge match on free TV, but they made it feel like a big time main event. They didn't put this on in the middle of the show. They let it headline. I'm surprised that we got a clean finish as decisively as we did. If you're going to do a 2-camera shot of Swerve talking to Ospreay and Ospreay talking to Swerve, use 2 cameras. Don't swivel back and forth like we're on the Titanic, which, as you know, beat the iceberg. Waiting for that store or the Swerve stomp, which I like that as a nice touch, but Ray was sitting up for about a minute and a half waiting for that to get hit. Yeah. And I felt so bad for him. Like I'm just yelling, like, jump. Yeah. Save the guy. Trust the camera guys are gonna get it, which they're not. But like don't leave Ray Phoenix just stranded there. Yeah. When you have that opportunity, pounce. And guys, when you have that opportunity and you're looking to pounce, can we recommend our friends at Blue Chew? This episode is sponsored by Blue Chew. Let's talk about sex. Guys, remember the days when you were always ready to go? Now you can increase your performance and get that extra confidence in bed. Visit BlueChew.com. Blue Chew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra, but in chewable tablets and at a fraction of the cost. You can take them anytime, day or night, so you can plan ahead or be ready whenever an opportunity arises. The process is simple. Sign up at BlueChew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days. The best part? It's all done online. No visits to the doctor's office, no awkward conversations, and no waiting in line at the pharmacy. Blue Chew tablets are made in the USA and prepared and shipped direct to your door in a discreet package. Will Ospreay is the new GOAT in wrestling, but if you want to be the GOAT in the bedroom, I don't know where I was going with that. I was talking about goats. I know where I was going with it. I was going to say that you're going to be the GOAT in the bedroom, and then I got flustered for a moment. But you know what would help me not get flustered? Blue Chew, because Blue Chew wants to help you have better sex. Discover your options at BlueChew.com. Chew it and do it. And we've got a special deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew free when you use our promo code RUMOR at checkout. Just pay $5 shipping. That's BlueChew.com, promo code RUMOR to receive your first month free. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring this episode of Rumor and Innuendo.
Thank you, Blue Chew. Real quick, before we cover our next topic, I did want to give my thoughts on the main event. I didn't like it.
Wow.
I didn't like it. I thought it was the athleticism off the charts, everything like that. But it really did not position Ray Phoenix to mean anything. No. And when it was all said and done, he was just an afterthought. And further, what you said too, him waiting like that just lessened his value. And then he was gone. That was it. It was just, that's a guy that you want to continue to build up and make him mean more. And I think it's like you could have had all that if you wanted to do it. You did not have to have that end like that. And so you could have had Swerve and Ospreay have that great confrontation at the end. I thought that was fantastic. But the Ray Phoenix thing, it really just, it was a down point for it. And it kind of disappointed me and furthered my point about this Dynamite just did not further anything for me moving, with anything else except Swerve and Ospreay.
I mean, I'd say the Swerve and Ospreay confrontation was very good. This idea that Swerve has now run afoul of the Elite is kind of interesting. What's weird is maybe I've taken a blow to the head or something like that. Didn't Ospreay used to have a manager and he was part of a stable of some sort? Or am I misremembering?
I think Robert, I think you're onto something. He's one of your favorite people. If I'm
That's
not mistaken.
Right. Don Callis.
That was it.
Where, this is why I'm begging sometimes. Like, pay attention, kids, when you're writing your show. If Ospreay is a member of the Don Callis family, there should have been some sort of representation. Don Callis should have been ringside for the main event. Or we should have had some interaction with them in the back where Ospreay is like, hey, mate, you don't have to come out here. I'm good. I got this, bruv. Like, they were fine. They were good. Instead, you had Don Callis on earlier in the show with Takeshita, with Kyle Fletcher, and then them saying, well, Roderick Strong needed to be brought in as a hired gun because we don't have anybody else when Trent's right there.
Hey, guys.
So, whatever. But at least Roderick Strong came out there with the entire Undisputed Kingdom, Matt Taven and Mike Bennett, and nobody else, because nobody else is a member of that group. There wasn't a very tall guy who used to be in that group. People just come and go on this show all the time. It's bizarre. It's a very transient program.
Yes.
But elsewhere in the wrestling world, a WWE Hall of Famer and a current WWE champion apparently are having a sit down on a podcast.
Little conversation. Yes, Logan Paul is interviewing former president and yes, current WWE Hall of Famer Donald Trump. It caused a lot of buzz online. You saw a picture of him with Donald Trump and the Prime bottle in the background, nonetheless. On top of it, that's not the only caveat. Logan Paul apparently has reached out to the White House to try to get Joe Biden on the show at a future conversation date too. I texted this to you guys. I was like, this furthers the fact that Logan Paul is the best heel in the wrestling business right now. What do you think of this? Is this Logan Paul's a big deal. Obviously, the presidential campaign is this year.
I feel like Logan Paul's a big deal. Trump is a big deal.
Trump's a big deal.
So I saw that picture.
Yes.
My initial reaction when I saw they're holding the U.S. title.
That's it too. Yes.
I remember like when there was the controversy with Paige with the Divas title or whatever, and they're like, "Oh, we need to get that thing washed. We need to get the U.S. title washed." But here's what I kind of admire about Logan Paul with this. Number one, I appreciate the opportunistic nature of this.
Yeah.
This is great. Number two, the fact that he's saying he wants to sit down with both Trump and Biden to get both sides. Great. If this was just, I want to talk to Donald Trump and I want to put him over as being this incredible guy and I'm a big Trump fan and whatever, then it's like, I don't care for this. But the fact that he's like, I want to talk to both guys and let my weird audience get a chance to hear him, hear them both. Sure. But at the same time, the Logan Paul rub didn't help Ricochet when all was said and done. I don't know if it's going to necessarily help Trump. But I hope that this becomes the douchiest conversation ever between the two of them.
Yeah.
And if Biden does agree to this, and I truly hope that he does, because I think that'd be kind of fun. I want to see what happens if he drinks a Prime.
Yeah.
Like I would be mystified to see how that works. But it's the fact that they sat down for this interview and they were using the U.S. title is the best, because you didn't have to.
He could have been like, that's not part of Logan Paul's like outside identity. So he brings it here. It's front and center. It's very funny.
I am baffled, but it's an interesting story, and we will wind up listening to that podcast interview, as incoherent as it may be. And I'm sure we will talk about it here, and I'm sure we will talk about it on Working Stiff.
Oh, yes.
The other podcast that I do, which Dom is our producer, with myself, Dan St. Germain, Mike Lawrence, and Scott Chaplin. They're incredibly talented comedians, and I hate saying nice things about them. That drops every Friday. Unless we put it up sooner, we're actually going to record it right after we record this show of Rumor and Innuendo, so that's going to be a hell of a lot of fun. But Dom has a plethora of other podcasts for you fine folks to go listen to and enjoy. Dom, what else? I just realized you're wearing like this Jaws thing. Random.
Yes. I'm very oceanic today. Yes, but I do have some shows.
Thank
RVD,
you, because I'm drowning in this promo.
One of a kind with RVD. We're actually doing a live recording. Sunday night is the plan. So if you're not doing anything on Sunday night, catch up with me and RVD on rvdtv.com, also at onetruesporttv.com.
No better way to spend Father's Day.
That's right. What a fatherly. Hey, Rob's a great fatherly figure. I've learned a lot from him already in RVDology. But you can also check out tonight, Straight Talk with the Boss, Magnum TA, Greg Gagne, 6:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on FourHorsemenNetwork.com, OneTrueSportTV.com. And guys, we're also having a newcomer from Ad Free Shows in a conversation too on OneTrueSportTV.com. Tully Blanchard will be talking with us. So go to OneTrueSportTV.com live and get a little bit more insight about television and what have you on there. So, Robert, yeah, what a show, man. I've learned a lot. I've had Jericho stuff. I don't know, but I'm fine with Dynamite, I guess. Okay, C-.
Well, you heard it here first, C-, and you can hear this every day, Monday through Friday at noon Eastern on a number of social media platforms, including the WW Creative _ish X account, the Dominic D'Angelo X account, the SE Scoops X account, the Podcast Heat X account. Podcast Heat is who makes this show possible, as well as on YouTube, on Ad Free Shows, Rumor and Innuendo, and Working Stiff. So on behalf of the shark-infested waterman himself, Dominic D'Angelo, I'm Robert Karpelis. Best of luck in your future endeavors.
Like Billy Zane, my heart will go on.